With more than 2 in 5 women not self-examining regularly for breast cancer, possibly relying on mammograms as often as they're called by the NHS, we need to step this up to make sure that if something is wrong, people know it as soon as possible. To tell us more, I'm joined now by TV presenter Sophie Blake and Jane Murray at the Breast Cancer Now charity. Good afternoon to you both.
Hi.
Sophie, tell us some of your story.
I was diagnosed with primary breast cancer back in December 2020, just before the third lockdown. So I was affected, having all my treatment done then, which was a lumpectomy and radiotherapy. And then I was given the all clear, but unfortunately last year, back in May, I was given the diagnosis that I was then stage 4 with secondary cancer, which had spread to my liver, my lungs, my abdominal lymph node and my pelvis, and a brand new breast cancer actually growing on the skin of my lumpectomy breast, which is quite unusual, which was a grade 1, a different cancer altogether. I started down the secondary route going back then, and that's the life that I'm now living, and been in contact pretty much all along with Breast Cancer Now, who are a massive support for me during the lockdown, because obviously I couldn't go anywhere, I couldn't see anybody, so I'm doing all I can to help now raise awareness with them.
And although obviously now an incurable condition, you're not letting that stop you doing what you're doing, which is the important thing. It's about living for now and living to make sure that you're passing the message on to others to check and to work alongside the charity.
Oh, it absolutely is. And I've actually literally 5 minutes before this call had the latest news of my PET scan, that I'm currently no evidence of active disease. So excuse the big smile on my face right now.
No, that's brilliant news.
Best news you can get with secondary cancer. But yes, absolutely. The first thing, obviously, I had the trauma of that information being relayed to me back in May, and it's a moment that I will never forget my entire life, of where I was and what I was doing, and processing it, and the horror of telling my daughter and my mum and family. But I'm quite a proactive person anyway, and just kind of did lots of research and reached out to people in the cancer community and the secondary community, and there's so much support out there really is, when you look for it. And if you know, you have to do what works for you. That's what worked for me, and Breast Cancer Now played a really big part in that. And so I think that's why I want to be able to give back and do what I can as well to help others.
Yeah, Jane, obviously, when somebody is in this situation, whatever stage they are of discovering they have cancer, there's a lot of help and support that is needed. And the work that Breast Cancer Now do is absolutely phenomenal, isn't it?
It is. It's crucial, from the life changing research to the support services that we offer. You know, we do everything, campaigning, all sorts of massive important things that really contribute to the treatment and the support for people affected by breast cancer. So we have a whole range of services. You mentioned we have a helpline. So the helpline is staffed by nurses like myself, open 6 days a week, which is free, it's confidential, and it's an opportunity for people to call us up, whether it's they've got a primary breast cancer diagnosis, a secondary breast cancer diagnosis, if they've not been diagnosed but they're worried about a symptom, they want to know more about screening, family, friends, anybody. They you know, it's completely free from all mobile networks and landlines in the UK. And they can ring and they can speak to someone like me or one of my nurse colleagues and go through any questions they've got, any concerns they've got. And then we can signpost them on to other services that we offer. So we do have very specific services for people like Sophie who have secondary breast cancer, or younger women with secondary breast cancer. We also have services, a service called Someone Like Me, where we can put someone in touch with somebody who's had a similar diagnosis. That peer support can be really crucial to speak to somebody who's been through something similar, going through something similar, because no one else can really understand or have any idea of what that's like unless you've been through it or going through it yourself. So yeah, that we do a huge amount of really important and really worthwhile services. So I would encourage everybody and anybody to check out our website or call our helpline just to find out more, really.
And it's through the sort of advice that you get there that will show you how to self-check. And Sophie, were you checking? Is it something that you picked up yourself through your own checks?
I was, but actually it was through running. I started running after lockdown, and I actually felt mine. It wasn't a lump or dimpling or a discharge or anything like that with mine. It was a dull ache I started to get when I was running. And it was after a couple of weeks of it not going away, I just suddenly felt like something wasn't right. Luckily for me, I got an appointment very quickly with my GP, who sent me for my mammogram, the first one I ever had, and they picked up on it straight away. So it's so important to self-check and to know your own body. I knew it wasn't a pain I'd never felt before, and that's what made me aware. And I guess then, because I did check my breasts, and it's just knowing, it's so important to know every area, even the chest bone, around under the armpit, your collarbone, just to feel your skin at least once a month, set an alert so you don't forget, because it's easy. Life is busy. We all know that.
Mhm.
So when you shower, you're moisturizing, putting on the bra, just check, because you never know, and most cancers, obviously breast cancer caught early, is very treatable nowadays.
It's important to do that, and it's important to get that awareness. And through the fundraising that's been put together here, because on the 20th of October, we're calling everyone to wear pink, wear it pink for the day, and to sort of raise awareness, but also to raise some funds too. And this is, again, it helps the important work of Breast Cancer Now.
I've been chatting with Jane about this earlier. It's such a fun way to do it, and it's something that everybody can get involved in. And if you can't even make an event, you can do it online. And when you're organizing these things, if it's a coffee morning or a Barbie theme or a school run, everybody, you can put that out there as well about advocating, and being self-aware and knowing your own normal and checking your breasts. And you can just make Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You can just utilize that month to share all that information and raise awareness, but have a lot of fun on that day as well.
And wear it pink. And the campaign's been going on for this in its 22nd year now, and as a 39 million quid raised, all that doing amazing work. And Jane, I mean, you see what actually happens here, and in numerous cases. So you must be so proud to be part of it. But equally, it's getting that funding, and it's important.
Absolutely. I'm so proud. I'm proud of the organisation and everything that Breast Cancer Now stands for, and all the work that we do. And we will continue to support women and men, because let's not forget, men do get breast cancer as well, a lot smaller numbers, but they do. So it's really important that men are breast aware. People are sort of regularly checking their breasts, as Sophie says. And I think what we hear a lot on our helpline is that people are worried about, contacting their GP. The NHS is so stretched. If it's something that's not important, I don't want to bother them. But it's not a bother. The majority of breast changes won't be breast cancer. But you don't know that. It's important that you get that confirmation from your GP, or if your GP is not sure, they can refer on to a breast unit where you'd see a breast specialist. Again, even somebody that's referred to a breast unit, the majority of women don't have breast cancer, but do check, do report, do be sure, and that's the most important thing, really. But yes, going back to your point, I'm super proud of Wear It Pink and everything the organisation stands for.
Wearitpink.org, wearitpink.org. That's where you want to go to get registered. Make sure it's an event you've got going on at work or at school or the community group or whatever it is you're involved with, or just you and your family, and have a great time doing something for the charity Breast Cancer Now, who do an amazing work. The 20th of October is the date to put in your diary. Colour it in a pink highlighter so you know which one it is if you're on paper. I'm sure you can do that electronically too, but get that all marked up and be part of it. And Sophie, such good news that you've had today. Let's keep it going in that direction. Let's make sure that you're as well as we can be for as long as possible. But the important thing is to check, because if you hadn't have discovered that, the prognosis, even as difficult it is now, would have been a lot worse.
Absolutely. But every single penny raised for Wear It Pink goes towards that vital research that helps people like me living with cancer and being diagnosed with cancer, and all the support that Breast Cancer Now gives. So, even if it's a couple of pounds, anything, please do so.
Well, Sophie Blake, TV presenter, and Jane Murphy at Breast Cancer Now, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.